You're watching AMI This Week.
Welcome back to ATW. I'm Anthony McLaughlin. It's White Cane Week for most of the country, and one of its marquee events is the Canadian Vision Impaired Curling Championship in Ottawa, which is presented by AMI. And joining us via satellite is AMI's Dave Brown, who's currently at the Ottawa Curling Club right now. Dave, say hi to the folks at home.
Hi, guys.
So tell us what's happening right now.
Well, right now it's pretty quiet. Just a couple of club teams taking part in some open practice time. But over the course of the next few days, these curling sheets are going to heat up with 7 teams coming from all across the country to take part in this national bonspiel. Of course, you'll have the defending champions from Kitchener, Ontario, but there are lots of experienced teams who will be returning to this tournament trying to take that title away.
How is the sport adapted for players who are blind or who have low vision?
That is a great question. I've covered this tournament a number of times, and you see all kinds of different adaptations for people all across the vision impaired spectrum, from those who are totally blind to those who have partial sight. One of the most common things you'll see is a flashing light on a broom to give direction. You'll also see teammates slapping their brooms on the ice to create a target. And finally, for people who are totally blind, they'll have a guide who's vocally describing what they're looking to do with their next shots.
If anyone is in Ottawa and wants to check it out, is it open to the public?
It absolutely is. The Ottawa Curling Club is just a few steps away from numerous bus stops in the city. It's also just off the highway. You can't go directly onto the curling sheets. There is a seating area and a bar. It's really a lot of fun.
Sounds like it. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
If you want to find out more about the AMI Canadian Vision Impaired Curling Championship, visit the Canadian Council of the Blind's website, ccbnational.net. Now, as part of the annual festivities put on by the CCB to celebrate White Cane Week, the organization honors an individual from the community with their Person of the Year award. This year, they chose a very deserving Donna Jodhan, who we are lucky to have in studio right now. Thank you for joining me, Donna.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let's start with the most obvious question. What was your reaction when you found out that you were being honored with this award?
I was very humbled. I was shocked. I didn't know what to say to Louise Gillis when she phoned and told me, but after getting over my surprise, I'm very honored because I think that there are others who are just as deserving as I am. But I do thank the CCB for having honored me with this great award.
Well, that's a tremendous honor and congratulations. You have been an advocate for the blind and low vision community for many years, and you've won some important victories for the community. Can you share with us a few of your achievements and maybe ones that you're most proud of?
I think the one that comes to mind is the one when we took the Canadian government to court over their inaccessible websites, and we won a landmark victory in 2010. And then the government again took us to court. They took us to the Federal Court of Appeal, and they again lost. So it was a tremendous victory, not just for me personally, but for our community as a whole.
And this whole process took over about 6 years.
It did. It was 6 years of being beaten up by the government, being beaten up by a lot of other people who didn't understand, but the support coming from everybody within the community and organizations, that was really what made me keep on going.
And there's still a lot more work to be done. What do you think are some of the next hurdles for the community to overcome?
I think what we need to do is to ensure that Prime Minister Trudeau lives up to his promise to us, and that Carla Qualtrough, who is the minister, is able to live up to her mandate to ensure that a Canadians with Disabilities legislation is passed and passed soon.
Also, it gets a little bit complicated because there's a lot of other organizations working towards similar goals. How important is it for everybody to be on the same page?
It's very, very important because a unified voice is what we need. If we can't have a unified voice, it means that, we're going to be all over the place. But I think people are doing their best. They're unifying, they're understanding, they're spreading the word and awareness. So we're very, very hopeful.
So I guess the emphasis is on a unified message. What do you think is most important about White Cane Week, and why is it important to you?
What's important about White Cane Week is the ability for our community to make Canadians more aware of what goes on within our community and how it affects other people. Like what we can do to ensure that Canadians understand and that they carry on with us as well. What it means to me personally is to ensure that our kids of the future have a better future than we have had, because we owe it to them just as others have given it to us.
Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts on this event. On behalf of myself and the rest of the AMI family, I want to thank you again for all of your contributions to the blind and low vision community. We know you're going to keep up the fight, and thank you again for joining me today.
Thank you for having had me.